Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest. And tonight on the segment, we're diving into a chilling revelations that's sending shockwaves from the valleys of Kashmir to the heart of our capital. Exactly a week after the deadly Red Fort terror attack, we're unpacking a chilling evolution in terror tactics that's hit Delhi like a thunderbolt. A suicide shoe bomber who blended seamlessly into everyday life. A new playbook favoring clean-cut recruits over hardened militants. And a multi-agency dragnet closing in on a university that's raising more red flags than a battlefield. This isn't just another attack. Mind you, it's a wake-up call to a smarter, a stealthier enemy, one that's rewriting the rules of recruitment and evasion right under our noses. Let's start with the latest breakthrough and the arrest that's cracked this case wide open yet again. The NIA, National Investigation Agency, has nabbed Jasir Bilal Wani, also known as Danish, a key player in the Delhi terror plot who helped this Dr. Umarun Nabi rig that deadly bomb into the vehicle. Danish wasn't some low-level fixer. He was an expert in crafting modified, and hear me out here, drone bombs, the kind that fitted with cameras and small explosives for precision strikes, all inspired by what we all know as Hamas tactics. And investigators say he was deep into plotting attacks using drones and even small rockets. Now, let's decode the shoe bomber aspect. Muhammad Nabi Umar. From the blast site, agencies recovered one of the terror doctors' shoes, laced with a suspected metal trigger that set off the explosion. The bomb wasn't your run-of-the-mill device. It packed highly unstable explosives, the kind that Jaish-e-Mohammed has been stockpiling in massive quantities. The crackdown shows it all. And it shows that this wasn't a sloppy rush job. It was a calculated strike nonetheless, hidden in plain sight, which means that there is a real shift in the terror playbook. The terror groups are ditching their old ways, moving from hardcore cadres with mile-long rap sheets to clean slate recruits with zero history sheeting, who raise zero alarms. Handlers are now laser focused on educated youth with spotless backgrounds, no pickups, no interrogations, no past radical ties, just bright minds ripe for manipulation. Back in the 2000s and up to 2020, recruitment leaned on already radicalized fighters, the ones easy to spot on surveillance radars. Post 2019, with security nets tightening, the game has clearly changed. Clean profiles became the gold standard, offering perfect camouflage, because who suspects the straight A student or the promising doctor? Officials warn that this new phase of terrorism makes a detection pretty much a nightmare. We've got some reactions for you. Listen into those.
अभी सामने नाम आ रहा है दिल्ली ब्लास्ट में उमर का, तो आपको लगता है कि उनकी कुछ मेंटालिटी उस तरीके की थी?
नहीं, मैं पूरे कॉन्फिडेंट के साथ कह सकती हूँ कि नहीं थी।
लास्ट में कब बात हुई थी?
जुम्मे के दिन फ्राइडे के दिन 3 ही दिन हो गए।
तो क्या बताया था? खास क्या बात हुई थी?
खास कुछ बात नहीं हुई थी, बस हाल चाल पूछा। बस बोला, हमने कहा हम घबरा गए हैं, आप घर क्यों नहीं आए, स्विच ऑफ क्यों रखा? बोला कि मुझे लाइब्रेरी में एग्जाम है, मैं पढ़ने जाता हूँ। मैंने उसने लेकिन पहले से ही बोल के रखा था एग्जाम है।
तो ये बोल के रखा था कि एग्जाम है, तंग ना करें।
हाँ, तंग ना करें। हाँ, कॉल करके तंग ना करें, माँ को ज्यादा परेशानी होती है ना। उसने बोला, माँ को ही बोला, मामा को बोला कि ज्यादा फोन मत करना, मुझे ज्यादा परेशान मत करना।
तो जुमा के दिन आपकी बात लास्ट में हुई थी?
हाँ, जुम्मे के
परिवार की बात?
हाँ, हमारी बात हुई जुम्मे के दिन। मैंने ही बोला कि घर आ जाओ। उसने कहा 3 दिन के बाद आ जाऊंगा। मैंने कहा नहीं, कल आ जाना।
अभी उनका नाम जो है एक मॉड्यूल के तौर पे जो है सामने आ रहा है, आपको लग रहा है कि वैसा कुछ हो सकता है?
ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, ये हमारे लिए एक शॉकिंग न्यूज़ है इस टाइम। मतलब हमारे माँ बाप ने जिस तरीके से हमें पढ़ाया, इस लेवल तक पहुँचाया, मतलब ये उसको पता है। मतलब हमारे माँ बाप ने कितना मेहनत किया है, मतलब ज़मीन पे। मतलब हम सब ज़मींदारी कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे। मैं खुद कर रही हूँ, मैं एक डॉक्टर बन गई, लेकिन मैं खुद कर रही हूँ ज़मींदारी यहाँ पे। तो फिर हमें इस तरीके का मतलब कुछ अंदेशा नहीं था, मतलब ऐसा होने वाला है। जब हमें यहाँ पे रेड भी पड़ी ना, तो अब भी हमें ये नहीं था कि मतलब हमारा भाई इन्वॉल्वमेंट है इसमें, मतलब उसकी इन्वॉल्वमेंट है इसमें। ये भी नहीं हमें पता था।
कोई एफआईआर है मुजम्मिल के खिलाफ?
हमने कभी ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं देखा है यहाँ पे। मतलब इतने साल हुए हैं यहाँ पे, हमने कभी कुछ नहीं देखा है। मतलब कोई एफआईआर या कुछ आर्मी या कुछ ये मिलिटेंसी कुछ भी नहीं देखा है। हम ये पहली बार देख रहे हैं, इसीलिए ये शॉकिंग न्यूज़ है हमारे लिए। हम प्रो इंडियंस थे, हम ही वो घर है जिसने वोट डाले थे 2008 में, और हमारे घर के ऊपर पथरा हुआ था उस टाइम।
Well, let's also shift our focus to Dr. Shaheen Saeed, whose double life is unraveling fast as well. Agencies have seized 3 passports tied to her name, each with a different story. One lists a Kanpur address with her father as the guardian, another a Lucknow home linked to a husband, and third a Faridabad address with her brother as the guardian. And these aren't clerical errors. They're a deliberate maze of identities masking her globe-trotting footprint. She also visited Thailand earlier. She's visited Pakistan. Probe teams are verifying a pattern of extensive foreign travel, including 3 trips to Pakistan that set off every alarm bell. She also visited 6 other countries that demand a deep dive. Discrepancies in the passport details are under the microscope, turning what seemed like a routine medical career into a potential pipeline for terror logistics. And no thread in this web pulls harder than the heat now bearing down on Al Falah University, the breeding ground where the shadows of suspicion are growing longer by the day. The Enforcement Directorate, the central agency, is poised to climb down on this university, likely to launch a probe into the university's murky funding streams. ED has reached out for FIRs and case files from the NIA and others, whilst the Delhi police has fired off 2 summons to the university chairman, whose statements could blow open major gaps in the narrative. 2 FIRs already hang over the institution for cheating and forgery from the Delhi crime branch, and regulators like the UGC and the NAAC are piling on with flags for accreditation irregularities. And the big questions, we've got an esteemed set of panelists with us on the broadcast, the big questions we're trying to decode. Can the police and the agencies adapt fast enough to spot new age sleeper cells? Is India even prepared for tech-enabled attacks like drones that we're learning of now, suicide triggers and remote control bombs? With me on the broadcast, AK Jain, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, Dr. Abhinav Pandya, counter-terrorism expert and CEO, Osanas Foundation, Sanjeev Sood, security analyst, and Dr. Amit Singh, associate professor, security studies at the JNU. Let me come to you, Dr. Pandya, first and foremost. Let's understand what's happening, because why we're doing this show today is to understand. Delhi has reported for the first time, a first confirmed suicide vehicle-borne improvised explosive device type suicide bombing attempt, first evidence of a shoe trigger activation, first case of 5 doctors, 5 quote-unquote very straight A performing doctors forming a Jaish module, first probe linking university accreditation fraud to terror logistics, and now multiple passports, biryani, dawat, medicine as code names. Madam Surgeon is another name that's come about, and now Hamas-style drone network. I mean, what all is happening? This is possibly India's first urban shoe-triggered car bombing. What are you picking up, Dr. Pandya? What are the red flags here? What's in store for us? Do we have the wherewithal to tackle all of this?
Well, I'm not at all surprised. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Go ahead.
Hello? Yes. Well, I'm not at all surprised. Organizations like Jaish are highly professional, sophisticated, and trained. And in the past also, if you remember, there was a case of a famous transatlantic shoe bomber in the US, and Jaish-e-Mohammed was involved in that. And Jaish-e-Mohammed is the original Al-Qaeda of the Indian subcontinent. Okay, you imagine, I mean, the seed funding was provided to Jaish-e-Mohammed by Al-Qaeda. Osama bin Laden was the one who distributed assets between Jaish-e-Mohammed and Harkatul Mujahideen. So they inherit that legacy of the Harkat network and highly trained and sophisticated global financial networks, radicalization networks. And they're good at it. They've done this job in the Pulwama.
We know about the sophistication, Dr. Pandya. We know about the sophistication, but this new shoe triggering mechanism, what does this tell us about the intent of this entire module?
It's not a new mechanism. See, these are technological innovations with these terror groups always, try to innovate and employ. As I just recently mentioned about the transatlantic shoe bomber. So nowadays they're trying to innovate and they're trying to improvise on their tactics. So they know that, I mean, RDX and TNT are kind of old things now. So they're improvising. They're using ammonium nitrate, mixing it with TATP, and getting all highly professional and the trained people who can handle complex operations weapons, complex explosives. And this lady, Dr. Shaheen, who has come to limelight, the way she was able to forge her passports and she was able to cover up her foreign trips. It shows that these people are like veterans. They are experts. And we are dealing with a very different kind of menace. We are dealing with a proper global terror group. Which has, its methods and tactics, they reflect what Al-Qaeda or ISIS has been doing at the global level. And I think these are the red flags which we must understand.
Yeah.
Now, I also want to point out that when she could forge her passports and all that, definitely there were some loopholes and lacunas in our systems also.
Absolutely.
How could she do
Absolutely.
that?
And let's question those. Let's question those, shall we?
How could she do that? So I think, we also need to, take that step ahead and cover up these gaps in our understanding of terrorism. And, this Al-Falah University was functioning in that area. No one checked their documents. So now let me, just extend it a bit further. And let me tell you, there are many universities who are simply surviving on bribery. They are able to bribe the people who come on inspections from the NAC. That's the National Accreditation Authority. And when the NAC people visit universities, the NAC investigators or the inspectors are bribed with good alcohol, wine, parties and money. And then they give all kinds of permissions. So, and they are also able to bypass all these financial regulations also, because you have an entrenched corruption. I'm stating some bare facts. You look at how universities recruit their professors these days in the entire country. People like the university administration, political parties, and the connected, affiliated people, they charge 27 lakhs, 30 lakhs to recruit a professor. So when you have this corruption entrenched so deeply, it's not that difficult to bypass laws and compromise your national security. You look at what district, you come to my state Rajasthan, or be it Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan, what's happening in the districts? Your SPs and DIGs and IGs are earning bribe money from the liquor mafia, from Bajri mafia. No one is questioning that. We just heard about the case of DIG Bullar and another DSP in UP who have made properties worth 300 crores. Now let me question that. It's not just that DIG or that DSP. If the corruption of such a huge scale is happening, definitely senior IPS officers are involved. So you have to question
a lackadaisical security apparatus that you've highlighted over here, Dr. Pandya, and clearly these are certainly red flags. They call for a complete overhaul of how we're looking at our own country security. DGP A.K. Jain, let me come to you next. If this was pressure activated or tilt activated, let's talk about the possibilities here. How hard is it for agencies to detect such triggers during normal vehicle checks? I mean, these are things that the common man does not know about. Dr. Pandya is well versed with this. He's an expert on this. He might know whether this is a new aspect, this is a new phenomenon, but the common man out there does not know. It was a running street, the Red Fort Street, and then suddenly the bomb just explodes. And of course, let's not push the investigation agencies to throw all the information out in public domain. Let them do their job. But with all the information that we have, how worried are you? We're talking about a drone network that's now been inspired by Hamas-style terrorism?
If all this is true, then it is very, very disturbing. Security agencies, NIA, ATS of different states, they are looking into it. And they are also trying to innovate. And as far as this car bombing is concerned, unless and until you have very specific information that such and such car is carrying explosives and this person is a fedayeen, you can't detect such shoe bombers and shoe metal trigger in shoes, because we don't have technology on streets with the police. And there are specialized escorts which have to be deployed, but they can only be deployed when there is very specific information that such and such car is carrying explosives. Only then you can detect it. Otherwise, it is next to impossible.
All right, Mr. Sood, let me come to you as well. Do you concur with what the DGP here is talking about? He's saying there are tech upgrades that are absolutely needed here. In a car bomb, hiding the trigger inside the footwear is it's not a common choice. I mean, I'm not an expert on that, but I mean, I've read a couple of espionage, fiction novels. I do dabble in Netflix series that talk about all kinds of bombings and, the likelihood of the same. What tactical advantage does a foot-activated detonator give a suicide bomber who's operating in a dense city like Delhi, on a dense road like the Red Fort? And talk about your own red flags as well. Isn't this worrisome? 3 passports, Dawat biryani, medicine, those kind of, code names that are doing the rounds. What's really happening? And who do we put the blame on here?
I agree with Mr. Jain that this kind of bombs or specific, unless you have specific information, it is extremely difficult to detect those kind of equipment or bombs that they have used. But the point is that we need to prioritize security. You see, the raids had been going on.
Yeah.
There was a recovery on 8th, there was a recovery on 9th, and this lady was apprehended from Lucknow or someplace. Delhi was not put on high alert. I mean, shouldn't the Delhi, if they were not put on high alert...
Pertinent question you've raised over there. Pertinent question.
On its own, and then where are the priorities? On 10th evening, this explosion has occurred.
Yeah.
On that same day, the police, or perhaps on 9th, or rather on 10th, the police was busy giving protection to the rally of the chief minister, who was accompanying candidates to file nomination for NCD elections. And a day prior to that, they were busy apprehending protesters against pollution and small children. Where are our priorities? Is the police meant to secure people, or is it meant only to secure...
So what I've understood, sir, and you're raising pertinent points again here. What I've understood is that we're all sitting ducks. We don't know what's going to happen
Absolutely.
when. We don't have the technology. We're all sitting ducks. That's the bottom line over here.
हम खुद बच गए तो बच गए, otherwise there's no
and when you had done that crackdown and you recovered such a large cache of ammunition and explosive, why put it out in the public domain? Why put out headlines? Why couldn't that crackdown you could have intensified that crackdown further, and these lives could have been saved. Mind you, that number has gone up. We're looking at 15 people who have died because of this bomb blast. Well, you know what? I'm being told we're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here. Dr. Amit Singh, Associate Professor, Security Studies, JNU, right on the other side. Doctor, we're going to come to you. You're somebody who understands security studies. The Madam Surgeon angle definitely stands out. We're going to come and talk about that on the other hand. Dr. Pandya, Mr. Sood and DGP, please stay on with me right here. A quick commercial breather. We've got lots to discuss.
बहुत टाइड हो गई।
Take a date, not bites. No added sugar, प्रिजर्वेटिव के बिना डेट्स, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया Lion Dates Nut Bites.
Lion Date Nut Bites.
Some sounds never leave. They wait to be found again. Inspired by humanity, powered by innovation, Taiwan excellence.
Breaking news: major disruption is expected this week.
Yes, disruption confirmed. That's me. Relax, no scams, just my brand new show, News Cosmic with Cyrus.
Many thanks for staying with us. We're trying to decode the new face of terror, this new terror playbook that is in play. Dr. Amit Singh, Associate Professor, Security Studies, JNU, with us on the broadcast. Let me come to you, Dr. Dr. Amit Singh. The Madam Surgeon angle, let's talk about that. A woman doctor She's worked in Kanpur, she's worked in Kannauj, she has 3 passports, traveled to Pakistan, traveled to Thailand, 6 other countries, and apparently she's the one who gave all the money, the logistical support for this. So a woman doctor allegedly running Jaish logistics, how unusual is this? And what does it say about the evolution of the terror playbook that we're now going to have to tackle in the coming future?
As per my understanding, involving women in the terror model is not at all a new phenomena. Okay. Because most of these people, because men and women does not matter to some of these people, because they have their religious, political agenda and related motivation. And because of those motivation, these people are just following their own whims and fancies. Just to sustain their political ideology motivated by religion. So I think women or men all are equal because they tend to become a suicide bomber. Because, for example, our security agencies are doing very well, but these are hiding in some of the common places. They are living their life as a common people. So it is very difficult to catch some of these people. But yes, our security agencies are doing well because what I have understood with the previous discussion, because we are having almost 365 days of Aman and Chan in our country, because but there are some people, if we miss, they hit. For the past 2 months, we have heard various news, various raids in Gujarat and
But Doctor, isn't that why they say? Isn't that why they say the terrorist has to succeed only once? The security forces have to succeed each and every time. And you're talking about the difficulty in assessing and knowing who these actual terrorists are. Will policing now have to shift from checking suspicious people to checking normal looking people? I mean, that calls for ostracizing of a particular community. Tomorrow people could be, made to stand on the road, and, that kind of checking begins. I mean, it just throws the normal social order out of gear as well.
No, yes, you have to check every suspicious activities here and there. And I'm not saying we have to target a particular religion, because there are people who may hide their religious identity. Because, for example, during the 26/11 incident, Kassab wearing a kalava on his wrist. So these people are well versed of hiding their identity, their religious agenda, etc., etc. But yes, the security agencies have to be on their toes, because if their movements, their action, reaction are suspicious, whosoever may be, they have to locate them, search them, and ask some difficult questions. And in which we have to be well versed of the various equipments as well as security agencies.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Dr. Pandya, take a look at this. Dr. Umar, let's talk about him, the suicide bomber, the shoe bomber rather. Assistant professor, stable job, no criminal record, clean police verification. I think that's the new terror playbook that we need to talk about. This is micro-radicalization. They know exactly who to target. No interrogations, never been picked up by the J&K police. What does it tell you when the bomber himself fits the perfect citizen profile? Isn't that dangerous for everybody out there?
Well, you've asked a very interesting question. Well, I must say that, what Mr. Sood said, that's absolutely great, that, your police is busy doing duties of rallies and all. But I would like to add something here. There is a concept called Revolution in Intelligence Affairs, RIA. There was a paper by Rand Corporation. To deal with such hybrid threats, what you need is a proactive intelligence. Now, you asked a question that, how should we detect such vehicles? See, question is not of detecting such vehicles at the last moment. It's difficult, I know. But when such complex terror operations are done, the planning takes almost an year, or maybe it spans over months. Okay, so the agencies have to track these groups and these individuals for months. For example, let's be more specific. This particular university, Al Falah University, is in certain district. Now, in whatever jurisdiction it exists, you have a local police setup, okay, and in every district you have a CID special branch. Their job is to target and to monitor such entities. Now that Al Falah University, the name itself, shows that, definitely it's, some kind of a religious, oriented university. And you start with the financial probe. You should have smart, capable and competent officers who are really passionate about their job. They should keep a watch over the university. They should try to mingle with the students. Then definitely over time, if they have skills, if they are smart enough, they'll be able to penetrate those WhatsApp groups. So that exercise takes years, takes months. Absolutely. And definitely you will come, I'm 100% sure you will come across some lead, then you cannot fail that. See, in this case also, JKP was efficient. The people who were putting posters, they immediately caught the people who were putting posters. Then they approached that Maulvi who was behind them. And incidentally, that Maulvi was, basically the part of the de-radicalization program in Srinagar. Okay, and he was just using it as a cover. When they interrogated Maulvi, they reached this Faridabad. So likewise, if you get experts, now tell me something. Okay, I have a simple question. In the district level policing or even in the states, how many people know the difference between Takfiri or Barelvi, Shia, or let's say Ahmadiyya?
You're absolutely right. And people need to get that kind of education. People need to get that kind of education.
Hadith. When leave aside people, let's give that education to our policing systems first, okay?
Yeah. What is lacking? What is lacking? That's a great question that you've raised. DGP AK Jain. What is lacking? Dr. Pandya has raised a credible question over here.
Just one more thing. Let me add one more
Very
thing.
quick. Dr. Pandya, I'm running out of time. I need to bring in DGP and Mr. Sood once again.
Just one point. In the most of the state intelligence bodies, either the officers who are not suited for the field of policing or people who are corrupt, they are sent as punishment postings. Okay. So you need to, revolutionize, revitalize the state intelligence bodies. That's my point here.
Okay. DGP, what do you have to say on that front?
Most important intelligence collection, in my opinion, takes place at police station level.
Okay.
Police station has massive contacts with the local people, and so many people, they try to curry favor with them, and they pass on very valuable informations. In several states, special units, anti-terrorist units have been formed at police station level, in which there are 4 or 5 officers. They are all the time on the lookout for people who are buying multiple SIMs, who are new tenants in residential societies. They talk to people and try to find out whether they have any suspicious activities. All this is going on in several states, and it has yielded lot of good results.
Okay.
And in Srinagar, Nagam police station, it worked out that who's pasting the posters in favor of Jaish-e-Mohammed, and they reached Dr. Adil at Saharanpur, and from there the entire network was busted. So we have to strengthen the police station level policing.
A lot more needs to be done. You're absolutely right. We need to strengthen this
and fill all the vacancies prevalent in the police forces of different states. They have to be given proper resources. Forensic science laboratories have to be there. Yeah.
A tech upgrade is what we're missing. There are various lacunas at play. We all know that, absolutely. And there needs to be a complete revamp. And, all those points that you've raised over there, those are red flags back to back. My apologies, Mr. Sood, I've completely run out of time here, but you've made some remarkable points in your first and opening comments. We're going to stick through those and make sure we put that out on social media as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the shoe bomb, the clean profile recruits, the silent text-based radicalization, this is the new invisible face of terror, whether you like it or not. It hides in ordinary lives, slips past our checks, and rewrites the old playbook. The threat has evolved, and so must our awareness. That's all the time. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay safe.
$25 लाख का हॉस्पिटल बिल है। इतने पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे?
पैसों की चिंता आप मत कीजिए पापा।
मैम, सर का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम अप्रूव हो गया है।
आप
पॉलिसी बाजार
हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम में हमेशा आपके साथ। पॉलिसी बाजार 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
कुछ भी खा नहीं पा रहा हूँ, बहुत अपसेट हूँ।
Take a date, not bites.
नो एडेड शुगर, प्रिजर्वेटिव के बिना डेट्स, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया लायन डेट्स नट बाइट्स।
Lion date, not bites. गजब का है दिन, सोचो जरा।
ये झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
क्वालिटी पे इतना कॉन्फिडेंस, इसलिए बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस।